What's up, everyone? It's Rob here. Good morning. Welcome to the live stream. Good morning, Rich. We're back with another one, and there's a lot of exciting stuff going on. Some things have been hitting all-time highs in pre-market today. We're going to start taking a look at the chart right here. It's not just stocks either, right? NVIDIA and AMD are both hitting all-time highs in the pre-market off of Metaverse news. And you can also see, if you look at crypto prices, Bitcoin made a new all-time high late last night. We'll look at the chart for a quick second, and you can see at $68,530, they hit their all-time high right there last night at 10:59 p.m. actually. So a lot of new things are are really pumping up over the past couple of days. Bitcoin, the chip makers, it looks like a lot of tech-based things are pumping up. Tesla obviously was pumping up a couple of days ago. We can pull that up here, but has since been falling. So there's a lot of interesting stuff to watch today, especially AMD and NVIDIA. These two chip makers pumping up off of Metaverse news is really cool. So I actually have a little story right here, which we'll probably cover again once more people get in the stream. But for those of you who are here early, we will talk about it really briefly. Chipmaker AMD just scored a big deal with Meta. So AMD, the chip giant, said its EPYC chips were selected by Meta, formerly known as Facebook. People have really taken to that name change and just kind of went along with it to help power its data centers at its virtual Accelerated Data Center Premiere event on Monday. So AMD explained the two companies worked together to develop a high-performance, power-efficient processor based on the company's third-generation EPYC processor. So a lot of that tech flies a little bit over my head. Don't quite know what EPYC and their processors mean, but obviously AMD has good hardware, and it looks like Meta chose to use them. So Hero says, SoFi partners with the Financial Planning Association to provide exclusive access to a suite of financial solutions to FPA members and clients. Okay, Hero, thank you for shouting that out. I'll take a look at SoFi and see what SoFi's doing. Maybe they're making all-time highs. Not quite, but they're getting close to it. Their all-time highs, it looks like, we're at $28. So they're at 22.74 right now. At least that's where they closed. Now they're above 23. So maybe they can get up there. NJ, good morning. Good morning, man. So earnings for AMC came out yesterday also, and it looks like there was a bit of volatility. They actually got up to highs in the after hours of 47.50 before swiftly being brought back down. Now they're looks like they're going to open around 42.43. At least that's where they are right now. So Hero also says Metromile Inc. Lemonade to buy auto insurance company Metromile. Okay, so Lemonade, I believe that's an insurance company, is buying Metromile. Let's take a look at Mile. Oh wow, yeah, no, this one bumped up a decent amount, right? They were up to 450 in after hours. Now they're pretty close to where they closed. Actually, they closed at 314, and now they are opening around 332. It looks like, unless they move too much. Monhol Moan, good morning, man. We've got a lot of interesting stuff to look at today. AMD, we actually missed it yesterday, but they were moving up quite a bit, and they just made highs, all-time highs in the pre-market today. NVIDIA as well made all-time highs in the pre-market today. Both of these are moving up off of Metaverse news. So Eric says, would AMD be a good buy now? I mean, obviously, they are moving into the Metaverse area, right? Similar to what NVIDIA is doing. So it does open up some more possibilities for them. Let's take a look and see what the market cap is on AMD. AMD was the first stock that I ever bought way back when, years and years ago. Wish I'd held it, though. I wish I'd held it. I was buying it for probably like $8 or $10 or something like that. So yeah, I wish I'd held it, but I probably sold it for like $20 or $30. It just seemed like a big gain at the time, but it would have been much bigger had I held. So we're looking at a $181 billion market cap for AMD. Potentially it's a good buy, right? It's if you look over the past year, it's just been soaring. So not a bad buy. Over the past 2 years, it's just been moving up and up. Past 3 years, it's been moving up and up and up. It looks like it's always a good buy. At least that's what it seems like from this kind of a trend. But you never know when a company like this is going to slow down. It's always possible that they'll overextend themselves, that the technology just won't be advancing as quickly as it currently is, and maybe another company like NVIDIA could outcompete them. So AMD potentially a good buy. I certainly like AMD. I think I have some AMD. I'm pretty sure I still have, or I got some eventually later on, but it was one of the first stocks that I bought way back in 2017 for around probably like $12, I guess. Yeah, around back in 2017, early on. Maybe $10 or $12 for AMD. That's when I first bought it, and unfortunately I sold on this initial pump up that we had in 2018 for probably like 20 something bucks. And since then, it would have been good to be holding. So Roblox, how far do you think Roblox can go? Roblox, I was surprised. I hadn't heard of Roblox in a long time. I used to play it when I was a kid, but I was surprised to hear that it was still around. It really seemed like the kind of thing that would have fallen out of popularity. And the only reason I know about it now is because it's a trending stock. So we can pull up the Roblox market cap right here, 44 billion. And I'm just not sure about Roblox. I mean, maybe it's just because I played it when I was a kid, and it didn't seem like that great of a game, but it looks like, wow, they have pumped up a ton on earnings. Wow, geez. And they're actually losing money on earnings, but they did have a little bit of a beat. So I've honestly not looked too deeply into Roblox, but it looks like they're going to open up near all-time highs. So we might have to add that in as well. We'll add in Roblox to the list. We'll add in Roblox. So let's see, Rblx right there. And my cousin, 10 years old, asked me about it. Yeah, no, it's fun for kids. It's fun for kids. And Zach Taylor wants some Ortex data on NAKD. We will pull that up right now. But Roblox, yeah, I'm just not too sure about it. My imagination would have led me to believe that if it was moving up, it would have been because they were probably profitable, right? If they had a bunch of microtransactions, but from the look of it, they're not even profitable. So I'm really not sure. So here's the Ortex data for NAKD. Very low short interest, 1.49% of the free float, 12.92 million shares currently shorted. However, it looks like that's about all shorts can do, right? That's most of the shares that are available to short. And it looks like short interest actually decreased a little bit on the day. It's probably some shorts getting worried that the thing could explode off of that EV news, right? Now that they're acquiring an EV company. So, yeah, so let's see. He said that weeks ago the server's down and its value dropped. Yeah, so Roblox looks like we can see actually maybe a couple weeks ago when the server might have been down, it was dropping. But this is going to be a crazy pump up when we actually open up today, because this the yearly chart has not yet updated for Roblox yet. You can see that in the pre-market, though, they are up to almost $100, right? It looks like we are just barely above $100 on Roblox stock now. So, yeah, once that opens, that's going to be a very interesting chart to see. But Roblox, just a company that I can't quite wrap my head around. I can't imagine people playing it for, into the next decade. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being bearish on Roblox, but I've not bought any of the stock, and I just can't imagine why it's been doing, it seems like decently well over the past while, right? They've only, looks like they only IPO'd back in March of this year, so maybe that's why. Maybe they just became public and people are looking to buy them up. So Christopher Frank, good morning. Quick question for you. SDC, what's your thoughts on the price point now? So we will take a look at SDC. I noticed they did drop in after the earnings. I did take a peek at them. So yeah, they're down to around $4, it looks like. And over the past year, let's see, we haven't, wow, so yeah, all-time lows for Smile Direct Club off the earnings. And it stands to reason, right? This is a fairly bad earnings call. They were expected to lose 14.6 cents per share, and they actually ended up losing 23 cents per share. So understandable that they dropped a bit. With Smile Direct Club, it seems like people were trying to at one point pump it up as a new AMC-like or GME-like stock. I remember I would get comments on my videos, and it seemed like automated bots sending the same kind of comment over and over. And it would say things like, GME was the father of all short squeezes, AMC was the mother of all short squeezes, and SDC will be the son of all short squeezes. It would say that kind of stuff, and I never really bought into it, right? I didn't buy the hype because it seemed like mostly bots trying to pump this thing, and whenever I would make a video about SDC, I would mostly talk about how I thought they still needed to prove themselves in terms of their short squeeze potential, because people were talking about how it was going to be a massive short squeeze, and the most that I saw them able to rise was from lows of 463 up to 738, so they hadn't even doubled or gotten that close to doubling. I mean, they were kind of close, but not that close to even doubling in price, and typically you want to see a stock 2, 3, 4x to really start scaring some shorts out, because shorts typically build up their position while stock is rising, and you want to really, hurt them a lot by, making their investments worth, or making their investments very far in the negative, right? And you can actually do that with shorts to a massive extent if you 2 or 3 or 4x a stock. So that's typically what squeezes them out. But Monica Perez says, go ATER. Yeah, ATER was another one that I was looking at this morning. It had a great earnings call. It looked like ATER is up quite a bit this morning in the pre-market and after hours. So it looks like we're going to be struggling with 8 today, right? We hit $8. We've already had 8 marked out on the map, on the chart for ATER. It looks like we had found support there in the past, back when we were hoping for a short squeeze, bringing us up to $20. Yeah, this is a fun one. We've looked at ATER quite a bit on this channel, but it looks like we may, on this earnings call, be getting a chance to move back up, which is seemingly strange, right? Because it looks like they had horrific earnings, but let's see what the news was on this. If they had any news, maybe they said something in the earnings call that got investors' attention. We'll take a look at ATR on Yahoo Finance in a minute, but yeah, it looks like we're back up around 8. It's possible that they will move past 8, start using it as support, and who knows? Sky could be the limit after that. We'll take a look at ATR on Ortex real quick. So Brandon says, kids love Roblox. Yeah, no, I mean, I played it a bit when I was a kid. I'll admit, I played it a bit. But I don't know. I just can't. I never spent money on it. That's the thing. I never spent money on it. One of my young cousins, like 6-year-old cousin, she brought her laptop over one time and was playing Roblox on it. And I think they really upped their microtransactions or something. You know, you can buy outfits and cars and all kinds of stuff. So Maria G says, I made Roblox rich as thousands of dollars of my money thanks to the kiddies. Yeah, yeah, that's the case. All kinds of microtransactions. I was cheap when I was a kid, though. I didn't pay for any of that kind of stuff. So ATR and Ortex, let's see. Looks like 22% of the free float is currently being shorted, 4.43 million shares, and it's down a little bit today. Some early shorts are covering potentially because of this big pump up that we saw from 6.30 about. Now we're at $8, it looks like. So shorts are getting a little scared of ATER. And Eric says LAZR would be good. Collab with NVIDIA. LAZR, is that the company that makes tasers? It might be the company that makes tasers. I'm pretty sure. Let me check and make sure that's the case. I'm pretty sure they make tasers. LAZR. Here we go. LAZR. Let's see what they are up to. They might not be, but okay. Luminar Technologies, Inc. is an autonomous vehicle sensor and LiDAR technology company, so not tasers, which designs, builds, and sells long-range LiDAR products that address the requirement of global automotive OEMs and technology companies for autonomous driving. It operates through the following segments: autonomy solutions and other component sales. The autonomy solutions segment engages in design, manufacturing, and sale of LiDAR sensors, as well as related perception and autonomy-enabling software solutions. Okay, so that's cool stuff. So they're helping with autonomous driving. That's cool. I think let's see what their market cap's at right now. $5.74 billion. That's pretty decent. That's pretty decent. I mean, obviously that's going to be a big area in the future. I'm just curious if they're going to be able to stick around and compete with Tesla. It seems like Tesla has some pretty good tech, and it seems like in-house tech that Tesla has. So obviously, you know, Tesla's going to want to keep that to themselves, and I'm sure that there's going to be room for a company like this to sell to other EV companies. Like, you know, if Ford wants to have some autonomous driving, and not every company wants to develop their own software for it, this could definitely be a good company to be in. I just worry it's a fairly large market cap as it is, and we'll have to see what the space is for it, right? How much demand there actually is for autonomous vehicles from companies that haven't developed them themselves. We'll have to see. So Mac Attack, morning everyone, good morning, man. And Randy the Ape, let's go AMC. Yeah, if you looked at AMC last night, you would have seen the earnings call. It looked like we pumped up quite a bit. We got up to highs of 47.50, which people were probably excited about when they saw, right? However, we quickly subsided. Now we're around 42.60. So we lost about $5 worth of value there, but not horrific, all things considered. We are down a little bit after the earnings, right? A lot of people were probably buying the stock up pre-earnings, hoping for a pump. And, you know, we did see a little pump, right? Obviously, people had the opportunity to take profits for a brief couple of minutes right there. If they were buying up the day before, then then they could have gotten some profit. But I think people are in for the big squeeze on AMC, right? They're hoping for the big squeeze that's going to move it to, I'm not sure what the price target on it is, but probably much higher than it currently is. So it is a little early in the stream for this, but we've got 45 viewers and about 21 likes. We could probably bump that up potentially to 30 likes. Maybe if we got 9 more likes, we could do that. It wouldn't be that tough. And Randy the Ape says they baited people into options again. Yeah, let's take a look at AMC options. I am curious about that. I am curious about the AMC options. So November 12th. Yeah, it looks like there are a lot of options that were sold. 17,000 for the $85 strike price. Unfortunately, those are cheaper than a lot of these other ones, but 21,000 for the $50 strike price. And these are on November 12th, so this Friday, those will be expiring. Then there's a decent number at a lot of these strike prices for November 19th. So, yeah, a lot of people holding AMC options. Some people even buying AMC options out for January in 2024. So that's interesting. Need to buy shares. Yeah, I think that the shares are what's really going to help drive AMC up. Obviously, the options could cause a gamma squeeze, but you'd need probably massive amounts of options to do that, and you then need to be buying the shares to raise the price. So, yeah, the options at the moment for AMC aren't too helpful, right? You got to get the shares and get those shorts out. Let's take a look. I haven't looked at AMC's short for a while on Ortex. Let's see what the data is there. So 16% of the free float is shorted, 85 million shares, just about. Yeah, I guess, I mean, those shorts, they're holding on. They're not getting out. Not getting out anytime soon, it looks like. DWAC and AQST are my big November plays. Trump rally and upcoming FDA in December going to cause huge pumps. Yeah, I mean, we saw what happened to DWAC just yesterday, right? On news that he was speaking at a roundtable event. And we pumped up about 10% in price, right? From where we were before the pump to the highs of the pump, we pumped up about 10%, then settled around $60. So it looks like that's where we're going to open. Hopefully we can start moving up just a touch and get up above 60 today. That would be nice to see. That would definitely help us if we were going to be starting an uptrend, right? To be getting above 60. Ideally, we wouldn't start fading away at this point, right? Because that would actually be pretty bearish. The fact that, if you look at this for DWAC, it would be kind of bearish to see making lower highs every time we pump up, right? If we ended up getting stopped out at 60 this time, I would like to see us get past that and actually make new highs, right? Past $70, hopefully. So GE breaking into 3 companies. Really? Haven't heard about that, but let's take a look. Looks like their stock surged on that news and then has subsided very quickly. So let's take a look at GE and what news they've got. They're breaking into 3 public companies. Interesting stuff. So let's see what's going on with GE. We'll take a look at the story on Yahoo Finance. They have good stuff typically. So let's see. Do they not even have the story on GE? Wow. Well, we'll look it up. Google. Google's always got our back. GE stock. That should bring it. Okay, here we go. So CNBC, GE to break up into 3 companies focusing on aviation. And then, got to fix this real quick. Hold up. Okay, aviation, healthcare, and energy. We'll pull up the article. That's interesting. General Electric, one of the old U.S. industrial giants, will split into 3 companies following years of seeing its stock underperform, the company announced on Tuesday. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense, right? I think that maybe what happened with GE, and the reason that I never bought them, right? I've obviously heard of GE. Everybody's probably heard of GE because they're an old company, a very popular company, right? At least in the past, they used to be huge. And you can see that over the longest time frame that we've got, they just haven't been doing very good. They were doing good up until 2000, which they actually peaked at $484, and have since been in a bit of a downtrend, right? Every now and then they would uptrend for a couple of years, and then they'd get a massive spike down. And that was actually during 2008, I believe. Yep. And then they just never quite recover in the years afterwards. So GE, not the best play in the past, at least. It hasn't been the best play. But if it does break up into those 3 different companies, I think that could be good. They could get some additional focus. Maybe it looks like that might be what they need. They just need some more focus on the specific areas, like they said, aviation, healthcare, and energy. That would be good to see. Zach Taylor, is NAKD going to be a mooner or the next pump and dump? Up to number 50 on Ape Wisdom overnight. Well, let's take a look. NAKD. Yeah, who knows? This one's tough to say. It's sitting right around where you bought in, it looks like, at 90 cents right there. So let's see it on Ape Wisdom. I'm curious about that. Let's see. Typically, it has a ranking somewhere. So, yeah, up to 51, up 978 spots. Still only has 40 mentions. I feel like this one could definitely get talked about a bit more. We'll pull it up here. Still only has 40 mentions and 132 upvotes, so it could definitely be talked about more on Reddit. We could definitely get people touting it a little bit more. That would be nice to see. Over the past year, this could certainly bring us up a bit. The fact that we're opening up around 90, we'll have to see how the bar actually looks when we open up, but we have had this pattern of ascending lows and ascending highs, so we'll see if we stick to it, right? If we stick to it, then we should be breaking above 94 at some point during the day, it looks like. So, not a guarantee that we're going to stick to the pattern, obviously, but we did have a nice pattern drawn out on NAKD right here. So, it could be good. I mean, obviously, I think we started looking at this actually back around here, and we were saying that it might be a good buy because it looks like we made a low, and I didn't buy any, but it could be a pumper today, right? If they're getting into the EV space. For those of you who don't know, I'll pull up the story on it. But let me pull up the story real quick. They got a merger deal with Centro Automotive, and I think they're buying 3 different parts of that company or something like that. I didn't read the entire article, but after extensive searching and due diligence, we believe we've found a disruptive opportunity in the clean technology sector. So something about EVs was what they were buying, and that's kind of strange, right? Because Naked is a clothing brand, I believe. And, it doesn't say what they bought here, but I believe it was an EV company that NAKD stock ended up merging with. Here we go. Maybe this Benzinga article will have it. Trading higher after the company announced it entered into a definitive agreement under which Naked will acquire the outstanding stock of 3 entities comprising Central Automotive. Okay, so not only has unique commercial EV technology, it's been able to manufacture and deliver growing numbers of commercial EVs. And yeah, so EV company, right? All right, there we go. that's the gist of it, right? That's why they're number 2 most active on StockTwits. Yeah, I think this morning I had looked at that and I saw they were up there. So yeah, it's interesting how the different communities have different stocks that they look at, right? There we go. So NAKD is number 2 on StockTwits. It is interesting to see that a stock might do very well. OCGN for the longest time was doing very well on StockTwits and not too well on Reddit and Wall Street Bets. So, hi Rob, what's the resistance for PROG, says Mohammed Sadiq. And TL says, but DWAC waiting for the squeeze. And we actually missed a lot of comments here. So let me do these in order. NETI and MOLN, please, says Saucy Fredo. And we will get to PROG. I promise you, Mohammed. We will get to PROG in just a second. So first we will look at NETI. We'll look at NETI right here. NETI. NettyInc.com. Okay, so over the past year, it looks like they just dumped. Let's see what did it. Public offering. Okay. So yeah, these public offering things, not the worst, right? It's not the worst when companies do public offerings. Typically, it's not great for the stock price. However, it does provide them the opportunity to get some additional capital and to expand their business. And it looks like this company is a profitable company, actually. So they have been doing well on their past couple of earnings. It looks like they're just looking to expand their business model. So this could be a good buy, right? I do typically, sometimes, if the company is profitable, I do not necessarily mind a public offering if it's something that I'm looking at over the long term. Obviously, over the short term, it's not great because there are a bunch of additional shares available. But if it's over the long term that you're looking at this company for, then public offering does not scare me away. It actually just provides buying opportunity. You can see that right here. We were up at 14 before the offering. Now we're down to 11.51. We'll see where we open up. It looks like we got earnings tomorrow morning. So, or maybe this morning, actually. It might be this morning that we have the earnings. Yeah, I think it's this morning. So earnings this morning. We're going to have to see what happens. When is that getting released? Before markets, Central Standard. So it might be in a couple of minutes, actually. Interesting. Yeah, so that could be good. And then resistance for PROG, asks Mohammed. So PROG. So resistance, well, it looks like we just broke through at 350. But the next resistance might be, we might see a little bit at 360. Let's see if we can't pull this into a better frame right here. Maybe over the past 5 days would be good. Yeah, so we might see a little bit of resistance. You could see at 360 we saw a little bit of resistance in the pre-market and trading hours yesterday, but $4 is really where we've gotten a tough fight from. You can see the past couple of times that we've broken. Let's find a better one. 30 days right there. The past couple of times that we've tried to break through $4, we keep getting pushed back down. So 4 is really keeping us away. That's just going to be the tough one, right? But we've got earnings coming up tomorrow afternoon. So we'll see if we can't break through $4 in the next couple of days. So ATR now exploding in pre-market. Yeah, I saw they were doing pretty good. And it looks like they're up above 840. Okay, so they're doing very well. Highs of $8.68 on ATR. We'll see if we can't get some kind of squeeze going. They do have a very high short interest as a percentage of the free float. And LifeDroid, hey man, care to share BGFV Ortex? Thanks. Sure thing. BGFV on Ortex. Big Five Sporting Goods. That's the one that we've been talking about lately. So looks like they're pretty heavily shorted. 47% of the free float is shorted, and that's increased by about 1% today, so almost 10 million shares being shorted, and it's very heavily shorted, right? Of the available shares to short, 97% of them are short, so fairly heavily shorted. So we've got a question from Hassan Ali. What software do you use? So the charting software is TD Ameritrade's Thinkorswim. I then also use Ortex to look at short data. So Ortex and Thinkorswim are the two main softwares that I use. Sometimes I'll use Webull and whatnot. I also have websites that I look at, right? Like, which we actually have to look at. CoinMarketCap. Right here, you can see Bitcoin made all-time highs last night at 10:59 it was, right here. They made highs of $68,530.34. So now they're at 67,000, and you can see they're up. They're still up past the previous highs, even though they did dip a little bit in the past couple of hours, but they're still up over the all-time previous highs. So cool stuff with Bitcoin. It just keeps going up, and there's no explanation that people can give for why, but it just keeps going up. So it's good to see. I mean, I own some Bitcoin. I'm not a Bitcoin bear or anything. I understand that people are really bullish on it, and that it has these patterns that it tends to follow. Right, it makes new highs very frequently. So I mean, I wouldn't short Bitcoin, but no one can quite explain why Bitcoin is valuable to me. At least that I've not heard a reason why yet, but maybe someone one day will. Shiba Inu coin, let's see, they're down about 20% over the past 7 days, but it looks like some of the momentum may have worn off on Shiba Inu. Looks like people were expecting us to continue making all-time highs. A lot of people are still talking about that on YouTube and whatnot. A lot of people are trying to tout Shiba Inu coin, get people to buy in. I still hold a little bit. I was considering selling it, but it's such a small amount of money. It's basically worthless. I don't really care to sell like the $200 of Shiba Inu that I have, but it is up a fairly large amount. I'll take a look at it real quick and show you guys the screen for a second. But let's see what Shiba Inu is doing, how we are on it. So yeah, up 454% on Shiba Inu. I made $133 on. I barely put any money in the first place, and I already sold most of it. I did make a decent amount initially, but we'll show you the Shiba Inu part of our portfolio right there. Let's see if we can't get it to focus. That's good enough. 454% gain on Shiba Inu. Very small amount of money that I happen to have $200 in the Webull from referrals, and I put it all in the Shiba Inu, and it turned into a little bit more than that. But Shiba Inu's been doing decently. I'm just gonna hold it just because you never know. Maybe a ton of coins will get burnt and it'll actually be able to rise. So let's see. What are your thoughts on the ZG dip? Let's take a look at ZG. And that's Adam Walsh's comment. So let's take a look at ZG. Oh, Zillow. Yeah, Zillow. That's a tough one because a lot of their profit that they were getting. I've looked into Zillow. So Zillow is an interesting story, right? Zillow's been doing incredibly well over the past couple of years, and you can actually see it right here. Let's take a look. Maybe we can even get the 3-year chart out here. So they weren't very profitable in the past. The past couple of years, they hadn't been very profitable until sometime in late 2020, they started turning a profit. And that's because they started, or, well, not a profit, right? But they started having much higher revenues way back in 2020 because they were expanding their business into flipping homes. So they were buying a bunch of homes, and the way that they were reporting the homes that they were buying as revenue was they would buy a home for, say $500,000, and they would fix it up and flip it, and maybe they would make some profit on it, maybe they wouldn't. But they would then sell the home for, $550,000 or $600,000, and they would report that $600,000 as revenue. And it's almost a deceiving way to look at the company because people were looking at Zillow like they had massive, massive revenues, but really all they were doing was buying a home and then, selling it. So obviously their cost of goods sold was very high, but people were still very impressed by Zillow's massive revenue numbers because they were just buying these homes and selling them. And even if they sold them at break even, it was just, here's another $500,000 worth of revenue for selling that home. So Zillow got pretty inflated and actually just closed down that part of their business. They're no longer flipping homes because they weren't doing it correctly. I think they actually started to lose money on it, probably because the incentives for the people who were actually managing those projects just weren't quite accurate, right? They weren't quite there. There wasn't a great way to make sure that they were buying homes, cheaply enough and watching out for potential issues in the homes. They were probably just rewarded the more homes they bought, the better. And obviously that would lead to them paying a little bit more than they should have been. Because I've heard a lot of stories of people selling their homes and getting no bids, and then Zillow comes in and offers price up over the asking. So obviously the incentives for their agents weren't that great, and they're closing down that part of their business, and that's why they're tanking as of right now, because they're going to be losing a ton of revenue because they're no longer going to be selling those homes. So they're losing a lot of revenue, and now most of their revenue, I think, is going to come from their Zillow app. It's going to come from ads that they run there. So not ideal for them, but Ambition 2020, top of the morning, Rob. ATR is breakfast of kings. Yeah, eat up hoping for 10 trades on it. Yeah, ATER, we've been looking at. ATR is up big today. Oh shoot, we missed the opening bell on a lot of these stocks. I didn't even realize. 2 minutes ago. Okay, I was tied up in Zillow. I was thinking of Zillow. Let's pull these up and see what's going on. So NVIDIA looks like is having a little bit of a dip. AMD though, AMD is on its way up. ATR just dipped below 8. Hopefully going to get back up above that, right? Looks like it's used it as resistance twice today. Hopefully we can get back up above 8. That's going to be important for us. So AMD and NVIDIA, they're kind of similar companies. We'll pull up a different one, DWAC. We'll pull that one up. So Monholmo on Dogelon. Yeah, I'm curious if Elon's going to tweet more about Doge. He did it somewhat recently. EM1, you're smart for a 22-year-old. I appreciate that. So I'm missing some of these comments, guys. So if I don't get to yours, I apologize. It's tough to keep track of where I am. And if I don't respond to it after a bit, feel free to comment it again, and I will get to it. So NJ to victims, a few crypto catalysts lately. The mayor of Miami is taking a salary in Bitcoin. I heard about that. And the government successfully apprehended several major players in the crypto hack and are returning stolen crypto to victims of the hack. So that's nice. That could actually be bad, right? Though, if the hackers were just holding on to the crypto. That would actually reduce the available market cap of those cryptos, whatever they were holding. And if the people who get it back want to sell, if it got hacked a while ago, it was probably worth quite a bit less than it is now with Bitcoin at all-time highs. They might want to sell some crypto. So that could actually be bad, but we'll see what happens when the crypto actually gets returned. Al-Shah Jamal, when does Trump speak today, anyone? So I think Trump was speaking yesterday. I don't know if he's speaking today. Not that I've heard of, but I think he did a roundtable dinner yesterday. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I don't think there was any. Media covered. No video in there. I don't believe. I couldn't find any. But I know it was an exclusive event, right? You had to pay about $5,000 to get a seat at that event. So I think those were the cheapest seats too. I think they got up to maybe $250,000 for some of the bigger donors. But it was a fundraiser dinner, right? So. So that's why they were charging so much for the seats. But AMD, let's go, says Eric. Yeah, AMD. Let's see, we're still up on the day despite having a couple of big red bars right here, taking us down a couple of bucks. But we're still up 1.45% on the day. And Stock Raider says AQST. We can take a peek at it. We can see what it's up to. AQST. I haven't quite researched this one as much as I should have yet, but we will at some point cover AQST on the channel in a real deep dive video. But I believe someone was saying that their FDA approval is sometime in December, so we are getting close. Daniel M. Rob, any chance an Ambition 2020 says DWAC? Yikes! Yeah, we'll see what happens with it. It looks like we're on a green bar right now, but we'll see what happens with DWAC. Hopefully, we can get in the green today. Right, we're down 0.5% since yesterday's close. So, Daniel M. Rob, any chance you can take a look at TGLS? Sure thing, Daniel. We will look at TGLS. Okay, so it's been soaring lately. It looks like they just had a good earnings call. Fairly decent earnings call. Let's see. An earnings beat. They're up 6% on the day. Decent gain. And it looks like they've just been moving up over the past year. And 2 years, it looks like they were stagnant before COVID. And after that, the money printers were rolling. And they started making some money. So, Techno Glass. Let's see what they're all about. Let's look at them. Let's look at their company profile and see what they have going for them. So, they are a holding company which engages in the design, manufacturing, distribution, marketing, and installation of specification architecture glass and windows products sold to the construction industry. It operates through the following geographical segments: Colombia, U.S., Panama, and other. Okay, so a kind of niche company, right? $1.41 billion market cap. That seems reasonable for what they're doing. It is pretty niche, I'll say. So this one, I don't know if it has room to grow into like a 10 or $20 billion industry, but just because I don't know how much demand there is for glass in industrial processes. They already have $1 billion market cap. I can't imagine how much they could charge for all this, but they've been doing well recently, and they could continue to move up. I don't see a reason why they couldn't. As long as they keep finding customers, it looks like they are up and coming in the space, so maybe there's still some room to grow. Obviously, we'd have to see what the total market for that is, but that could be good. That could be good. This is, good earnings, right? They're improving their earnings, it looks like, quarter after quarter, so nothing to complain about there. They're still growing. Daniel says, do you think they can keep the uptrend after good earnings? Biggest market is the U.S. Yeah, the U.S. is going to be a pretty big market. I would be curious, actually, if they could get into China, because China certainly does a lot of industrial processes. People always joke around about, this is the construction industry also. So, yeah, we'll see. Okay. So maybe it's... Okay, I see. So the construction industry, actually. All right. So maybe they're working with real estate developers also. Then yeah, that could be big. They've certainly been doing well over the past year. So what I will say is, over the past year or two, real estate has been doing incredibly well, right? People can't buy enough homes, right? They're looking for homes. The homes are super expensive. People are looking to build homes all the time. So obviously, this company has been benefiting greatly. So what I would watch out for with this is, they can keep this uptrend going probably as long as the real estate market is very hot. So what I would watch out for is, if real estate starts to take a turn, this stock will probably start to take a turn as well, just because we won't be building as many homes. There won't be as much demand for them. The people won't be willing to pay as much. And this company just won't be selling as much glass. So I would be wary of that, right? If real estate starts to dump, which, it doesn't look like it's dumping anytime soon. It's been doing pretty well. If we start to raise interest rates, that's what typically hurts real estate markets a little bit. So I would watch out for that. But the Fed still has a couple months to go with their tapering before they even start to look at raising rates. So we'll see. So we missed a couple of comments. What's going on with ATER, says Arnow Jolly. ATER we will take a look at. It looks like they are struggling with $8. They're struggling with 8. We're hopefully going to get back up above 8. They are up 25% on the day. It looks like good earnings. Not great earnings, though. Somewhat confusing. I didn't keep up with their earnings call. I didn't listen to it, but they must have said something very inspiring to stockholders, because they actually lost a ton of money, much more than they were expected to lose per share. They were expected to lose 50 cents per share. They actually lost $3.13 per share, but they must have had some really great forward-looking guidance. I've not looked too deeply into ATER, but if they can get back above 8, then that could be good for them, right? They could potentially get back into squeezable territory. Let's find a good chart to look at this for. So they could potentially get back into squeezable territory. It looks like they are fairly high right now, right? But what shorts would really be scared of is if they started getting up towards $20. So they still have a ways to go before shorts start getting very scared of them. But they are up. So that's good for anyone who is holding it. And Ambition 2020 says, no trades for me today, ATR, no waves. We need some quad engines in the water. No waves. Neo for sure tomorrow. Yeah. Neo, let's see. It's not when their earnings calls. Yeah. So after hours today, I believe, is their earnings call. But Neo just dumped a little bit, right? Getting back down below $43. So yeah, we'll see what Neo can do if they can't get back above 43 before the earnings. Not sure who's selling right before earnings, but typically you do see an uptrend, which we have experienced right before the earnings. So we'll see what happens with Neo in after hours today. That'll be interesting. So LifeDroid says, do you expect PROG to have good earnings? I don't know if PROG's going to have what you would consider good earnings in the sense that, they'll be profitable. Probably not. But if you look back at the past couple earnings calls, they have beaten expectations, except this last one, or the third to last one. They ended up missing quite a bit, but they could, right? They got some new patents this quarter. So maybe they'll have decent earnings. I think they could potentially beat expectations, but I don't know if they'll have, certainly, probably not profitable. I would be very surprised if they had profitable earnings, but in terms of the reaction to earnings, I could see them, talking about some of their past successes right during the earnings call and actually pumping the stock up a little bit. I could see that. Obviously earnings are a big catalyst for any company. PROG is near its all-time, well, not all-time highs, but near its highs of this squeeze. If you look back at the past while, they're near their highs, right? This pump up to 650 was actually an after hours, or pre-market, so I don't really count that too much. But their all-time highs of intraday trading was 440. So they're 344 right now, not too far off, and the earnings really could pump them up a decent amount. I think PROG could be moving up on their earnings. I'm still holding my PROG. So Patricio Contreras, Rob, Wish is looking good. What's your thought? So we've looked at Wish. We haven't looked at them in a bit. But yeah, they're back up above 533, up 5% on the day. And they've got their earnings coming out. So this is probably a pre-earnings uptrend, right? People are buying into Wish, expecting decent earnings. And I wouldn't be surprised if we had decent earnings, right? Wish, I'm not guaranteeing that we'll have them. But typically what you saw with Wish in the past, if we look back over the past 2 years, this stock was doing pretty well back when COVID was at its peaks and people were indoors. They weren't shopping outside too much. They would mostly just order stuff online, and Wish was doing pretty well. Then it started to fade away as people began going back out as lockdowns ended. However, we have had an uptick in that kind of stuff, in lockdowns and people masking up again and shopping less outside. We've seen a bit of a decrease in it. So Wish could be having a better earnings call this quarter than last. So we'll have to see what happens with it. But I could see this earnings call being decent, right? And we could be moving up. We're up 6% already. Maybe some people are expecting the same thing. So Ambition 2020, I guess we can get more SBA to bring down the average. That's about it today. Rob, your thoughts? I see nothing else. Yeah. Let's see. What ATR? Where is ATR? That one is going to be interesting to watch. If we can get back above 8, that could be a good one. But at the moment, I'm not seeing too much, right? DWAC, I'd like us to get back above 60. AMD and NVDA, it looks like they're probably both moving down, unfortunately. Some things maybe you'll be able to play to the downside, but they're both moving down. They're still up on the day, and they made their all-time highs. NVIDIA's was in pre-market, and AMD's was during the trading day, a couple bars in. So unfortunately, we're just in a little bit of a downtrend right now. The markets are pretty stagnant. If you look at SPY, we're up 0.01% on the day. So not much going on. SBEA, though, let's pull that up. So yeah, down to 1021. It looks like we're just kind of stabilizing around 10. We really haven't done much since stabilizing there, but we've just slightly been moving down, ever so slightly. So we'll see. Yeah, but it is getting to be a better and better buy, I think, the closer to 10 it gets. And I would be very happy with it below 10, actually. If we could get it below 10, that would be a great place to be buying it. So Noble H says, hey Rob, how's it going? It's going good, man. How are you? It's going good. We got not as much sleep as I wanted to last night, so I actually have a cup of tea with me right now. So a little tired, but the tea's kicking in. It's black tea, so it has a decent amount of caffeine. And that actually brings me to this next question in the poll. What is your favorite morning beverage? We're going to ask that. We'll include coffee, we'll include tea, and we'll include other. How about that? And we'll include nothing. How about that? We'll include 4 options. And there we go. So, let's see. Suki-chan, I'm from China. Can you speak Chinese? I like you so much. I appreciate that. I cannot speak Chinese. I can't speak Mandarin, unfortunately. Never learned it. I would like to learn it eventually. It seems like definitely an up-and-coming language. A lot of people are probably going to be speaking that for business in the future. So definitely, I'd like to learn it, but I can't say I know how to speak it at the moment, right? And Triple says, "Tea, bring out that black rifle." I know I should. Coffee, unfortunately, is a little too caffeinated for me. But I will be probably getting black rifle. I'll wait until they're public, though. How about that? I'll wait until they're public, and on the day that they go public, I'll buy a bag of black rifle for you guys. How about that? That'll be nice. So, Noble, any thoughts on our buddy Clove? I think the ER was good, so of course I would, yeah. So let's see. Let's see what Clove is doing. I didn't look at them since their earnings, but yeah, they moved up, and then, okay, yeah, actually I did see them very briefly. Moved up, moved down, then kind of consolidated around 8. Couldn't decide which way to go. And then looks like the bears came in. Let's see if they got shorted. I'm curious. They may have been shorted. That may have pushed them down a little bit. So no, it doesn't look like too many shorts are in this. At least not today. Adding at least only up 0.12%. So barely any short pressure. Looks like some wary investors, right, saw that we were getting $8 and potentially just saw that we weren't really holding above. We were kind of stagnating there. And maybe just decided to sell off. They got a little worried. They saw that we were rising over the past couple days. People may have been expecting earnings to pump the stock up, and when they saw that we'd stagnated for a bit, it looks like some people decided to sell off Clove. That is unfortunate. And Vivi Ruddick says Brazil coffee is the best. I know there are a bunch of places that have really good coffee. Brazil included. There are a bunch of places. Yeah. I can't say. I don't know. I'm sure I've tried coffee that's from Brazil. But I don't know how authentic it was, right? It might have just been, grown there and not the most authentic brand, but we'll see. I would like to try some more coffees, though. I never buy bags of them just because last time I bought a bag, it's kind of just sat there. I never make coffee, so I do have a little bottle of, or a little jar of instant coffee that I make every now and then if I really need an energy boost, but typically I'm not brewing coffee from scratch, right? It's typically instant coffee or K-Cup or something like that. I should get something that I can use to make regular coffee, though. It'd be nice. So we'll see what's going on with what were we going to look at? What was on the watch list today? Bitcoin, DWAC, PROG, AMC, Roblox. Okay, Zach Taylor says, just in, U.S. producer price inflation jumps 8.6% year over year in October, matching the largest increase on record. Yeah, not surprising, right? We obviously, the inflation numbers haven't been good lately, but let's take a look at that. Let's pull it up real quick and see. Let's see those numbers for ourselves. Just got to filter out some of the other countries' data. Go to U.S. All right, so the PPI, month over month, October. Here we go. There we go. So U.S. Producer Price Index, PPI month over month. Yep, it just came in and 0.6, and I guess the yearly would be an 8.6% increase, I guess, if you add all those up. So, geez, yeah, not looking good. It was an increase, actually, because we've been downtrending a little bit the past couple of months, and now that we're back up, that's not ideal. Or actually, it looks like yeah. So not ideal for all those people at the Fed hoping for low inflation, right? The inflation is certainly moving up. I'm worried about inflation. Well, after this morning beverage poll, after we get a couple more people answering that, I will change the poll, and I wanted to ask who's worried about inflation, or how worried are people about inflation? Very, somewhat, not at all, that kind of stuff. I was curious about that because inflation is one of my biggest worries, right? I'm very worried about just making money, and then the money's not worth that much anymore. So I am worried about that. So let's see. Noble says, Roblox. I have a 7-year-old and we play Roblox from time to time. There's quite a few games I actually like to play, even on my own. Lol. Yeah, I used to play Roblox, and it was fun, I will say. But I haven't played it in a bit. But the stock, you gotta admit, it's been doing great. They're up 29% today. Over the past 30 days, it looks like they've been uptrending. And the past year, their lows were 60. Now they're at 100. So they've been doing good. I just can't imagine how they're making that much money. I guess the microtransactions, it just seems like a very large market cap of several $1 billion. Let's take a look at Roblox. We'll see what they've got for market cap. So $57 billion. I don't know. Yeah, $57 billion is just very high for Roblox stock, at least. But I can see, the games definitely were fun back when I played them, at least. Now I play other games that cost money right off the bat and have fewer microtransactions. I don't like the microtransactions that much. I can see spending way too much on the microtransactions. So Joseph Agnell looking for a bounce in KPLT. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought KPLT, Catapult Holdings. Let's look at that. That's the warrant. Whoops. There we go. So up 12% on the day. They were up as high as 533. Cool stuff on Catapult. Good earnings call, it looks like. Just got them moving up and up and up. So, yep. It looks like the earnings is what did it. Nice. So, Zach Taylor, the inflation we're seeing in the real world is much higher than they are admitting. Yeah, I think so. I mean, you go to the store or even just shop at McDonald's. I noticed stuff around the McDonald's here used to cost $1. Used to have a $1 menu, and now it's all $1.40, $1.60. So that's 40 or 60% inflation right there. Scary stuff. So KPLT, yep, and in-game app purchases are money. Yeah, I know. That's what kills me, the in-game purchases. I mean, even companies like Sega, I think, does Total War. Those games have a bunch of DLC that you got to buy, and I'm not the biggest fan of that, but at least it's not like there's a billion of them, right? There's probably like $100 worth of DLC content if you're buying it on sale for a game like that. And it is a noticeable boost to the game, right? You get new factions and all that. But with something like Roblox, I think some of the in-game purchases are skins and that kind of stuff. And there's no limit to how many you can get, basically. So you could really spend a fortune. So I definitely see Roblox, how they could be somewhat profitable, right? People are spending a ton of money, but $57 billion worth of value. I don't know about that. That seems very steep. Seems very steep to me. Seems whole market turns red, says Eric. Yeah, the markets did turn a little bit red. If you look, we got the SPY. It's just been downtrending throughout open, basically, right? We had a little bit of a boost early on, and since then we've just been in a little downtrend. So not ideal. And LifeDroid says game content like campaign and stuff is fine, but skins and guns, man, I can't stand. Yeah, I can't. I never buy them just because it doesn't make a huge difference to me. But every now and then it seems like, that'd be kind of cool to have. But never buy them just because I know it's an endless pit. So Joseph Agnello says $7 for a piece of pizza in New York. Yeah, stuff is expensive. I'll say stuff is very expensive. And part of me thinks that one of the reasons why crypto is going up so much is because it's viewed as an alternative form of money, right? So crypto, maybe, unfortunately for people holding gold like myself, maybe where people are putting a lot of their inflation bets. Obviously, I'm holding some crypto as well, but I think that if you look at the values in the market cap of crypto, at least of Bitcoin, $1.2 trillion market cap, $1.2 trillion market cap. A lot of people are probably putting their money in Bitcoin, expecting big inflation, and Bitcoin's very easy to transact, and I'll admit, not for actual like day-to-day transactions, but to transfer ownership of doesn't take that long. It's easy. It's relatively cheap. Storing gold is expensive, but it is a real thing, right? So it's tough to say. But I think a lot of people are probably putting their money in cryptos if they are worried about inflation. That seems to be a big rallying call for a lot of the crypto investors out there. But You can't argue with it. Crypto has been doing very well over the past bit. Gold is up today, though. We'll take a peek at gold. Gold is up 0.2% on the day, so highs of 171 on this ETF at least. So let's see. Life Droid says BGFV on its way to all-time highs. Let's see, BGFV. We have not looked at Big Five for a couple of minutes, so we'll look at it again. But yeah, they're getting up there. They're getting up there. Very close, yeah. Actually, they just need to get to 4270, I think. Yeah, 4270 to get their all-time high. So they're not that far off, and they are uptrending right now. So it looks very promising. They're up almost 10% today. So let's see. Brazil coffee's best. All right. And then Ambition says, Vivi, researched off Rob's love for it. It's a holder. I believe it will do well. Millennials / USA are coffee zombies. Research for yourself. Black Rifle also gives a portion to vets and cops. Yeah. Yeah, I think, unfortunately, for a lot of people are addicted to caffeine. People might not even realize it. And looking at the poll, of the 26 votes, 77% are coffee drinkers. Some are tea, some drink nothing, and some drink something else. So we will end that poll with these results. I am content with this poll result. It seems like that is exactly what I expected it to be. Most of the people drinking coffee, some drinking tea, and not many drinking other things or nothing at all. So let's see. What was the next poll? How worried about inflation are you? Let's make that the next poll, because I am worried about inflation. Okay, so we've got a couple of options here. Very, somewhat, not at all, and I think we'll have deflation. There we go. We got the new poll coming up. I'm curious what you guys are going to say. Tesla dumping, Zach Taylor says. Let's take a look at Tesla. Unfortunately, the markets are dumping a little bit, but Tesla might be doing worse. Maybe Elon started to sell. This might be Elon's order coming through. Would not surprise me to see Elon's order doing this. I mean, let's see. Did he tweet something? I'm curious. Elon tanking the market, says, guess who? Yeah, that's what he was trying to do. So let's go to Twitter and see what Elon is saying, if anything, right? But maybe this might just be a delayed reaction, right? Maybe some people were buying the dip yesterday and started to get worried as we move down in after hours. We'll see, though. But it wouldn't. I mean, eventually, Elon said he would sell. He's eventually going to have to sell. So it wouldn't surprise me to see this being his order, tanking Tesla down 750. Wow, almost 8% down on Tesla. That might be what's moving the market down. Come to think of it, just because that's so much capital to be losing, right? Down 8%, and obviously it's not all Tesla, but Tesla certainly does have an impact on the S&P. Oh, can't see the screen, of course. Thank you, Zach, though. Thank you, Zach. That's an early catch, I think, that we got there on not being able to see the screen. But there we go. I must have typed it. Whenever I hit a 1, 2, or 3, the screen changes a bit. So I really need to change those bindings. I'm just not sure quite which keys to use, because everything else seems kind of useful also. Tesla dumping, Ambition 2020, thank you. And Joseph Agnella has a cup of coffee. Yep. So let's see. Out of the people worried about inflation, 43% are very, 36% are somewhat worried, 14% are not at all worried, and 7% think we'll have deflation. All right. But yeah, the markets are tanking. Tesla's tanking. NVIDIA's tanking. It's still up on the day, though, off the metaverse news. But AMC down 9% on the day after their earnings call. Everything is tanking. We almost got to change the title on this. We just hit all-time highs, and now we're tanking. I mean, that's horrible. But Eric says ATR, great time to get in now. Well, we'll look at ATR, but it looks like everything's moving down right now. Well, maybe we can get a V in the market, but now's not the best time to be buying things. When the markets are just dumping like this, you want to let them start to bottom out. I mean, typically, if you want to get a little dip, then it's a fine buy. But If stuff just starts moving straight down like this, it leads me to believe that there's a little bit more to come. Maybe it's just a temporary V. Maybe we're just doing a little V and we're about to be on our way back up. But and if you're looking to build a long-term position, sure. But if you're just looking to take a little trade, good luck picking the bottom on something like this. Maybe you can do it, but very tough to do. Very tough to pick the bottom. You kind of just luck-based, really. Now, can you get in right after the bottom? Can you spot the bottom? Maybe, but Patricio Contreras says, Rob, Wish is still looking up. Yeah, let's take a look at Wish. ATR, though, is downtrending a bit. We're down to only being up 12% on the TAY, which is still a nice gain. And Wish is moving up, right? Contrary to the market. So, good stuff for that. And Mark Perez just wanted to say, great job. Thanks, learned a lot. How will PIPE's private investment in public equity affect DWAC? So I actually looked at a story about that earlier today. Let me see if I can't pull it up and find some details. But typically, so let's see. Let's see if we can't find the pipe. All right. So here we go on Reuters. When did this come out? November 8th at 9:11 p.m. So yesterday. All right. So SPAC tied to Trump's media venture seeks investor support. So DWAC is pitching prospective investors to back private investment in public equity transactions supporting a special purpose acquisition company merger with Donald Trump. And the talks are at an early stage, and hedge fund investors were pitched for investment in the past few days, the source said. They said DWAC aims to sell pipes at well over $10 per share. Most pipes for the special thing are sold at $10 per share. DWAC has seen stock jump almost 500% since it's linked to Trump. And Trump and other media and technology group shareholders will initially own 69% of the combined company after the merger with the blank check firm. So it looks like we don't have any details yet, but what we saw with pipe in the past, at least, when we looked at the pipe that Lucid went through, we will talk about the Lucid pipe way back when. We were talking about that on the channel. Way back over here is well, we'll pull out the yearly chart for Lucid. That'll be better for us. Okay. So this is when Lucid's pipe hold ended, right? So the pipe shouldn't have too much of an impact on the stock price in the meantime, right? Until it actually gets released. I mean, maybe some people end up buying the pipe instead of the stock or whatever, but it does just provide some more equity to the company to expand their business and whatnot. But when the pipe holds are actually released and those investors are free to sell their investments, it typically happens a year or two after the company goes public and those pipes are sold, then we did actually see a massive dump in Lucid's price. And we got down to lows of $16 just about on Lucid. That was what this big dump was caused by, right? However, we quickly bought up all of those shares. And, anyone buying down there got a great deal on the shares because now we're up at $47. So in the short term, when the pipe is released, can actually tank the stock, right? But in the meantime, when they're just announcing the pipe and instigating it and actually selling out some of those shares to people, it shouldn't have too big of an impact. But in the future, you will want to watch out for when that pipe gets released, if they actually end up doing it. It looks like it wasn't a guarantee yet, right, with DWAC that they were actually going to do pipe release. But you can also see Lucid down about 6%. The markets are red today. They're bleeding. In fact, we got to change the title of this video. This is we got to change the title of this. We just hit all-time highs to the markets are bleeding. Well, that's not going to make sense if we we would have to change the thumbnail too. We're not going to mess with it. We're going to leave the title as it is. We did just hit all-time highs. So Ambition 2020 going to hang curtains. It's a wrap today. All about Neo tomorrow. Thanks, Rob. All right, Ambition. Take it easy. Pop Squash going all in on PROG and AQST if they dip anymore. Yeah, let's see. We haven't taken a peek at PROG in a bit. We'll see what PROG is doing. Down 3.67%. Not ideal, but better than being down at 328 where we were. So hopefully, I mean, obviously it's going to be tough on a day when capital is fleeing the markets, the VIX is up, people are getting a little fearful. Hopefully we can get up to 350 again, but we'll see. It's going to be tough. And Oxygen Inc. making moves up. Okay, let's see what Oxygen is doing. Yeah, they're starting to move up during the actual market hours, but they're still down 2.91% since closing yesterday. Their earnings didn't have that large of an impact on them. It looks like they were pretty darn close to estimates. It looks like people aren't reacting too strongly to the news. And PROG looks slick dead. So many red on my screen right now. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of these stocks are tanking. We can pull out SPY right here. SPY, the market's just moving down. It looks like in a fairly steady, almost a beautiful curve. It's almost like a mathematically accurate curve, what you could draw a function for. But was it because of inflation news? A lot of it might have been the inflation news. The PPI being not much higher. Let's see, what was the estimate for the PPI? Let's pull that up real quick. That will actually give us some insight into what might be doing this. So let's clear all this and find that PPI data. All right, so the PPI year over year. All right, let's see. So the actual is 6.8% year over year, and the forecast was 6.8%, so it's what we were expecting. It's what we forecast, so we just hit expectations on it. But yeah, I don't know if that would tank us this much. I mean, obviously, people might have been hoping for better data, and it's not like we're really crashing that hard, right? We're near all-time highs. We're not lower than we were a week ago. We're still up on the week. So even though we're down 0.49% on the SP, it's not like we've really tanked that much. So Tesla plummets 150 billion in market cap. Gone in minutes. Did Elon start selling? Zach Taylor says, yeah, I mean, that's what we're looking at. Tesla, that's what I think might have happened, right? Elon may have begun to sell his shares, and it's unfortunate. It may have just been some investors, they looked at Tesla, they heard about the news, and yesterday they were hoping maybe it would rally the stock. They saw it didn't really get back up to all-time highs in the trading day or in after hours or pre-market, and then they just started selling today. It might be that. But Elon is, I mean, if he's holding to his word, he's going to have to sell at some point. So PH Dragon 34, everything is going down the toilet. I actually feel lucky to have earned $8 on the pre-market. Nice, yeah. I mean, any green today is good. It looks like everything's moving down. I mean, all the charts except NVIDIA are negative at the moment. NVIDIA is the only one that's green that we have pulled up here, up 1%. Though, I will point out crypto. Crypto's been doing good. We can pull up the crypto chart right here. And let's see, where do we have that? Is that stashed away? Yep, Bitcoin right there. Although, we have been moving down just ever so slightly over the past couple of minutes. But we did hit all-time highs of $68,530 last night. And we're still near all-time highs at $66,780. So, pretty good stuff, but it does look like we've actually started to move down somewhat significantly, actually, if we refresh this. Then maybe crypto's on a bit of a tumble as well. If we zoom in right there, we can see that over the past couple of minutes, crypto's just been tanking. It looks no good for crypto. Hopefully that's coming through on the screen. But yeah, crypto's just been moving down and down and down over the past couple of minutes, though. If you actually look at a more long-term chart for the past day, they're not really that low. So let's get out of this. All right, there we go. But yeah, crypto's doing decently. This is just the beginning, says Zach Taylor. Yeah, I mean, maybe this will be the big one. This might be the big dump. We'll see. I hope not. I like the market. I want the market to keep going. But we'll see. Maybe it will be the beginning. They better not shut down Canada-Michigan pipeline. Oh, is that on the table? Are they thinking about shutting down a pipeline? It looks like Tesla has some buyers coming in right now. Decent volume and the price is moving up. Elon might have slowed down his sale, right? He might not have sold all of it yet, but he may just be slowing down the selling. He'll realize that it's crashing the thing a little bit too much. But let's see. It's not even a guarantee that Elon's selling at the moment, though. But Canada-Michigan pipeline. That sounds interesting. And I'm curious, Sundial is down 4% actually. Let's pull that up over NVIDIA. Sundial looks like it's actually dipping down, unfortunately. They were up really big on cannabis news yesterday that a Republican legalization bill is coming in. Or not Tesla, TLRY. That's what we want, Tilray. What's Tilray doing? So all the cannabis stocks look like they're moving down today. They got hyped up yesterday, and we'll see. So pipeline pile on. Biden faces heat from Canada Republicans, Michigan's governor, and the price of propane. Okay, White House. U.S. will discuss Line 5 Michigan pipeline with Canada. So let's pull up this news right here. White House. U.S. will discuss Line 5 Michigan pipeline with Canada. The U.S. and Canada will discuss the future of an oil pipeline that crosses part of the Great Lakes and is subject to rising tension over whether it should be shut down, the White House said on Monday. President Joe Biden is caught in a battle over Enbridge Energy's Line 5, a key segment of a pipeline network that carries Canadian oil across the U.S. Midwest. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, Democrat and Biden allies demanded closure of the 68-year-old line because of the potential for a catastrophic rupture along a 4-mile-long section in the Straits of Mackinac. Okay, so some of the Great Lakes are in danger of being oiled, and they might be shutting down the pipeline. Enbridge said that the portion divided into twin pipes across the lake bottom has never leaked and is in good condition. The company rejected the orders to halt the flow of oil last May and filed a federal lawsuit which is pending. So, Biden administration hasn't taken a position, but is under increasing pressure to do so. And Canada last month invoked the 1977 treaty that guarantees the unimpeded transit of oil between the two nations. So Canada wants the pipeline to stay open, and some people are calling for it to be closed because of some environmental concerns. Hopefully, it stays open. That gas is already very expensive where I'm at. I don't want it to go up. Hopefully they can shore it up some other way and make sure it doesn't leak. But Acorn sucks. We would have to sell overtime. He would have to sell overtime, Elon. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see what happens when Elon drops his shares. I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, that's a big dump to be taken in Tesla stock, but the volume isn't even that massive compared to what it was a couple of days ago. So I don't know if that it's pretty big. It's pretty big, but I don't know if it's enough for Elon to have sold 10% of his Tesla position. Maybe it is. That's actually quite a few shares. So he may have sold. So Zach Taylor, the U.S. has an abundant amount of energy resources, likely more oil than all other OPEC countries combined in Alaska alone. Yeah, I've heard the U.S. has a lot of oil. We just need to start mining it. We need to start getting it. I don't know why we haven't, but we do certainly get a lot, at least. They are purposefully and intentionally intent on destroying the U.S. economy under the guise of climate change. There, I said it, says Zach Taylor. Yeah, I mean, it is unfortunate. We certainly have a lot of natural resources, and it would make sense to replace a lot of the coal. I think we still get some of our energy from coal, so definitely replace that with oil, at the very least. It seems to make some sense to get some more oil going, some more oil flowing, but that is a short-term solution. Over the next, maybe 50, 60 years, we could use oil, but eventually I think we'll probably have better technologies, fusion and all kinds of stuff. We'll probably have better technologies than oil, but certainly get it while it's available, right? We will run out at some point, though. So yes, sir, and Zach 100% agrees, says PH Dragon. Yeah, I think we need some more oil in the country, but we could also benefit a little bit from putting some more research into fusion. That sounds very promising. It sounds like nearly infinite energy. If we can figure out how to really extract energy from basic materials, that would be nice. That would be good. Some of my science friends talk about that often, but I think fusion's a big industry in the future. It sounds like infinite energy to me. And we'll see. Is Prague still a good place, says Jay Bonilla? Let's take a look at Prague. So, yeah, I think Prague is still a good play. I'm still in Prague, right? I'm hoping that we get back up above $4 pretty soon. Looks like we're on our way to getting above $3.50. That would be nice to see a little bounce off. But looking at the options, let's look at the Prague options real quick. So 29,000 calls at $3.50, 32,000, almost 33,000. We're getting very close to 33,000 at $4. So November 19th, we've still got 10 days. We'll see if we can't get back above 4 over the next 10 days. That could cause a big spike in price, and that's what we're looking for in terms of a short squeeze, right? With Prague, we'll pull up the Ortex data and see what we've got for it. I'm hoping that we get back up above 4 before November 19th, so the gamma squeeze potential still lingers for us, right? Because if we didn't by November 19th, then those options contracts would expire worthless, and the shorts, the institutions selling those options would just have even more money, right? They'd have collected those premiums and no longer have the obligation to buy shares if we went over $4. So I'm hoping that we go up. You can see that shorts are coming in today, right? Whenever shorts, it looks like yesterday when we were looking at this thing, it looked like they found some additional shares that could be shorted because the utilization got bumped down to 96%. But shorts have covered that back up, right? They've covered the ground. They've shorted some more. Now we're back up to a 99.87% utilization on PROG. 38.66% of the free float is shorted. So not ideal stuff. Not ideal stuff. But it's good to see that they covered pretty much all the available shares to short, right? So there's not too much more damage shorts can do from the look of it. But the real struggle will be getting back up above these resistance levels at 350, 360, and $4. We're gonna have to watch out for PROG with those levels. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that we can do it. Looks like the market's coming back. The market's starting to move up again. What's Tesla doing? Is Tesla moving up? Yeah, it looks like Tesla and the market are one and the same. They're both moving up at the same time, falling at the same time. So PROG is better than windmills, but not by much. And Zach Taylor says, if Biden wanted to purposely destroy the economy, what would he be doing differently? And Acorn sucks, Biden doesn't know what state he's in. Anthony Gonzalez, what do you think about with NS, the news that just dropped? Anthony Gonzalez, NS. We'll take a look at NS. The new Star Energy LP. We'll take a look. Upgrade, okay, to a buy rating from neutral. Keeps price target at $22. Okay. So they got some upgrades. They didn't up the price target. They just said it was a buy rating. So that's likely why we're not moving up that much. But they are well, they're not even up actually. They're down 0.2%. So I think if we saw price target hike as well, then that might have inspired some investors to actually start buying in. But looking at it as it is, if they're just getting upgraded to a buy rating from neutral but keeping the price target, I mean, what's the difference almost, right? If the analysts always thought it was going to a certain price, then it was really up to you whether or not you wanted to buy or be neutral with it. But it just doesn't seem like it'll have the biggest impact. It hasn't yet, but we'll see. It could. This one could start coming back, but who's to say? So what was the briefing about? So far, everything is recovering. So part of it may have been a little bit of a Tesla sell-off, maybe, right? Might have been. But also, the PPI came out, which shouldn't have had the largest impact on us. But let's pull it up the year over year right here. The producer price index was 6.8%. So 6.8% inflation for producers, and it was forecast at 6.8%. So not the worst news, right? It's not like we beat the expectations. Rob O'Mazy, what about you? Tesla is coming back. What about you? Is you a ticker symbol? Let's see. Unity Software up 4.92%, 177.45. Okay, so they've got their earnings coming out later today. It looks like this is a pre-earnings pump, and they were on that, and they were on the path to it yesterday too. They were up pretty big yesterday, from 150 to 160 something. So U is doing decently. Zach Taylor says Robinhood down, users unable to transfer money out. Dangerous stuff with Robinhood. Let's look at Hood stock real quick. We'll look at you in a second, but let's look at Hood stock. It looks like it dumped a little bit, and after hours down about 3% on the day, getting close to all-time lows, but not too close, right? We're at 36.85 right now, so all-time lows are at 33.25, so we're about $3 away. We could be dipping more, but it looks like the stock isn't suffering too much from that news. So what about you? We'll look at you now. Just the letter U, Unity Software. I wonder, I haven't actually looked at this ticker. Is it the game that makes or is it the company that makes Assassin's Creed? I think it might be. So Unity Software, let's pull it up on Market Watch and see what they say about it. That should give us an indication of if this is a game maker. Because I do enjoy Assassin's Creed. I haven't got any of them recently, but Unity Software. I can't imagine they're not the game maker, right? They've got to be. So let's see. What's their profile say? Unity Software develops video gaming software, provides software solutions to create, run, and monetize interactive, real-time 2D and 3D content for mobile phones, tablets, PCs, consoles, and augmented and virtual reality devices. Nice. So they've got a $48 billion market cap. Doesn't surprise me. They've got a lot of good games out, and even games like Assassin's Creed, they find a way to put in the microtransactions. So it doesn't surprise me that they're doing good. They're actually, it looks like, are they smaller than Roblox? I can't imagine. I think Roblox was near $60 billion, though. So Unity is at 48, and Roblox is at 56, 57 almost. So all the Assassin's Creed games are smaller than Roblox? That's crazy. Can't believe that. And it looks like, Unity is working on AR and VR and all that. Seems like a bit of disparity between them that there shouldn't be. I think Unity should probably be doing better. I mean, maybe Roblox just has a really great business. I'll have to look into it, but that's crazy stuff. So Anthony Gonzalez, typo, but thanks for NS. Wish. Yeah, Wish. Well, we were looking at Wish earlier. Looks like they're still doing good, right? Up 5%, over 533. Let's see where we drew that line. So yeah. They're breaking up past some resistance, so that's good. The fact that they're getting up there before their earnings, they hope they won't be stopped out at earnings as long as they're above it. That means earnings could take them up to 6. Maybe we'll see. So Acorn Sucks. DWAC is perfecting a slow decline. Let's take a look at DWAC. Yeah, they have been declining a bit, but it looks like we might be getting a bounce off of 57 because we're at 57.78 now. We have two little bottoms at 57, and we are starting to downtrend over these past couple of bars. You got to admit, but I'm hopeful for DWAC. Right, we're still 57 is kind of where we bottomed out yesterday as well. So it looks like if we're using that as support, we're only down 3.5% on the day. It looks like some of the Trump rally news faded away. Right. Nothing much came of that roundtable dinner. It looks like it was just a fundraiser. So Joseph Agnello, PYPL, PayPal. Let's see what PayPal has going on. PayPal, down quite a bit, down 11% after earnings. It looks like their earnings were disappointing, though they beat expectations. But still, maybe they said something in their forward-looking guidance. So, okay. Also. Some analysts maintain an underperform rating on PayPal and lower their price target to $190. Yeah, so a couple of analysts are updating their price targets. Okay, that's what's doing it. So a lot of these companies are lowering their price targets on PayPal. Okay, so companies are getting bearish. The analysts are getting bearish on PayPal. They're thinking PayPal can't be what they were hoping to be, doing all that they were once doing. So even though they beat on earnings, they are tanking a bit. It's down 11%, bringing it more in line with what the analysts are expecting. So, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that, these analysts have so much sway over the price of these stocks that they can say, I think it's a buy, and that a ton of people get in and get out. I mean, it almost makes you think that they could manipulate things if they wanted to. They could buy into a stock and then raise the price target and then sell out, or short a stock and then lower the price target. They can make quite a bit doing that. So, critical choice 0, IRNT. We'll look at IRNT. Do I still like IRNT? I think that they could be good over the long term, right? The fact that they have this Microsoft partnership, they could be a good long-term hold with short squeeze potential, right? So if you want a stock that I think could slowly, over the next couple of years, be doing well as have the potential for a big spike in price like we saw a while ago, when we got up to $16 and what we were seeing earlier when we were around $47.50. Because if we look at IRNT short interest, they do have a 22.66% short interest as a percentage of the free float, 8.44 million shares, and it's fairly high on the utilization level, right? Almost 99% utilization. So relatively good potential for a short squeeze with IRNT. But obviously, the Microsoft catalyst wasn't enough to do it. Shorts actually doubled down a lot on their short positions we were watching, and just massive shorts were coming in day after day when IRNT was spiking up. So unfortunately, that pushed it down a bit. But But over the long term, they're a pretty serious company. The fact that they're partnering with Microsoft is that's only a good thing for them. So I think they could be doing well in the future. So Joseph Agnello says it's a short squeeze, Roblox. Roblox, really short squeeze. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me to see them being a short squeeze play. So, I don't know. It's not the highest short interest. We can take a look here. Short interest actually increased by 5% today. We have a percentage of the free float shares being shorted of 4.9%, and the utilization is fairly low, right? Not many people shorting Roblox. Only 6.92% of the available shares to short have been shorted. So 13.95 million shares total. Not too heavily shorted. I mean, maybe it could be squeezed a little bit, but it's not too big of a short. Maybe over the next couple of days, right? Just because they did boost up about 25% or 30% in price, from around $75 to over $100, 33% increase right there. I could see some shorts getting squeezed out, but there just aren't many shorts. It actually looks like more shorts are in today than are out. So, I mean, we'll see. Obviously, Roblox has been doing great over the past 90 days about. They're up a big on the past 90 days, and since IPO, it looks like they've been doing somewhat well, right? They're a big company, but I don't know. I'm not sure about Roblox. So BBIG. Joseph says, man, Rob got stuck holding BBIG. I feel sick. It's down 4.66%. Yeah, I mean, the thing about BBIG is we're going to have to wait for that Thai dividend. I think that, and we got earnings coming up pretty soon. So for the Thai dividend, I think that's when we're really going to start seeing some more action in BBIG. And potentially, people may have been scared out. Unfortunately, people may have been dissuaded from getting back into BBIG. I know in the comments, a lot of people say, I'm never going to touch this one again because how they pulled out last minute and delayed the dividend and caused the price to crash. So that's fair. It might not be as good as it was before when people were expecting the Thai dividend, but we'll have to see with it. We'll see what happens with BBIG. I think that closer to mid-December will be more certain which direction it's heading in, but we'll have to keep an eye on BBIG over the next couple of days. But what you can do in the meantime, if you're holding BBIG, depending on how many shares you've got, is you can sell some of these open interest, or you can sell some call options on it, right? And then depending on what your entrance price was, you might even be able to sell them above your entrance price and just collect some premium in the meantime. They've got a bunch of strike dates available, right? The 12th of November, the 19th. Every week pretty much you can be selling some call options and collecting some premium. So, it doesn't have the most upside potential, right? It really does limit your upside quite a bit, but it's a decent way to get some cash if you need it. If you want to guarantee, at least getting some money coming in, if you're going to hold it anyways, then it's a good way to guarantee you've got some money coming in from it. Basically just, a weekly dividend that you potentially could lose the stock on, right? If it moves up too much. But let's see what happened to Tesla. I am curious what's going on with Tesla now that they've kind of, okay, so they're not in free fall anymore. It looks like they're consolidating between 1080 and 1100. So good stuff for Tesla. Good job. Elon stopped hitting the sell button, and they're not quite falling that much anymore. The markets aren't falling that much either, right? They're at 466 for the SPY. Looks like we bottomed out at 466.15. So things are looking better, right? The markets did dip a little bit, but overall, not the largest dip, only down about 0.4%. So not the worst that it could have been. The VIX is up 5%, though. The market sure got a whole lot riskier this morning. People were expecting a lot of volatility, it looks like, and we still haven't quite gotten up to as high as we could, right? The markets, if they are going to continue falling, we could certainly get much higher on the VIX. So that is a potential play, right? Potential options play. Let's take a look, actually, at the options for the VIX. Pretty expensive. Let's see on the chart. How high could this thing get? You could see it getting to $20 maybe, if we did continue to fall. So by January, yeah, $20. Those are expensive options. Yeah, it might not be worth buying into VIX options. Not too interesting. Yeah, so Vivi Riddick says, attention, buy space right now. Let's take a look at SPCE, Virgin Galactic. Virgin Galactic. Uh, 7% on the day, up to 21 on earnings. Okay, so not a bad earnings call. They're up, even though the earnings are slightly worse than expected. They must have made some kind of announcement potentially. Let's see what the news is on this. Sells space tourism seats faster than it anticipated. Okay. They've sold 700 space tourism seats at $450,000 each. All right, so they've been busy. They've been selling a lot of seats to a lot of customers. Looks like the market is big for the space tourism industry. Yeah, good news, says Vivi. Yep, you are right about that. Thanks for pointing this out. That is cool stuff. We covered space back in the past, but haven't looked at them lately. But yeah, they're on the way up, right? The fact that they're able to start selling these seats, this could be good for them. We'll see when they start doing launches, but yeah, they might have bottomed out around $19-20. That's good stuff for space. Noble H, RKLY, have you heard of this at all? I put a note of triple-digit stock in 5 years, but I don't remember when I read that. RKLY. I don't know if I've... Rockley Photonics Holdings. Let's see on Market Watch what they're all about. RKLY. I'm curious what this company does. Rockley Photonics engages in the research and development of integrated silicon photonics chipsets, develops an application-specific third-generation silicon photonics platform specifically designed for the optical integration challenges. So that means pretty much nothing to me. They have an $800 million market cap. Looks like they've been tanking. They were a SPAC and initially got some hype when they went public, when they turned into RKLY, it looks like, and since have been moving down. But they've got earnings coming up. We can't necessarily expect earnings to be good if they're this early in their life, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe they'll come back, right? This sounds like the kind of thing that has promise, but I just don't know enough about photonics and integrated silicon chips to understand what this company's doing and if there's a big market cap for it, right? Obviously, their market cap is under $1 billion, so certainly there's probably room to grow. But yeah, I'm not sure about this one. They do have earnings coming up. It'll be interesting to see. Maybe they'll react well to it. And the fact that it is below where it IPO'd, or at least went public with the SPAC, that does seem promising. So under 10, it might not be the worst buy, but unfortunately, it looks like the last time they tried moving up, 10 actually acted as a bit of resistance for them. So we'll see. And we'll take a look at AMC next. As per Jacob Patri's request, AMC. So what do you think about AMC? It beat its earnings and still went down significantly in the pre-market and now is trading sideways. Do you think it's thanks to hedge funds like Citadel? Maybe. We can take a look at AMC real quick on Ortex as well, but I don't think that there were a ton of people shorting it. In fact, actually, some shorts are starting to cover their positions, right? The short interest change is down 1%. So there are fewer shorts today than yesterday. Shorts are starting to cover with AMC, actually, a little bit. Just a couple. But what I think happened with AMC, we'll look back at the past 10 days to exemplify this, is I think that pre-earnings, a lot of people were buying up the stock, expecting a big spike on earnings, right? And 10 days ago, we were down at $36. So people might have been thinking, oh, AMC, well, maybe they'll have great earnings and they'll spike up a ton. And while we did, it looks like we may have actually missed on earnings just a touch. May have been slightly worse. We were very close to the estimate. But they did move up initially, right? So some people had the opportunity to get out at $47 or $47.50 if you were really lucky. It looks like that's the highest we reached at earnings. And since then have been subsiding, likely because people were hoping for a big boost in price. And when we didn't see a massive rise, when this spike got sold off, people started saying, well, the earnings was the catalyst I was in here for. Let me sell off my shares. And potentially for a gain as well. If it was over the past couple of days, then at least in the after hours of pre-market, we were above most of the volume for those past couple of days, right? Anything above $42 was in the green for a lot of people buying this thing up over the recent history. Not necessarily, during the day before. Then you were down on money, but more recently, in the actual trading day, we have dropped below 42. So now people might be selling in the red, unless you're buying 10 days ago, and then you're still in the green, right? Because we were down below $40. So anything above $40, if you were in this a while ago, you're still in the green. People are just looking to take some profit, I think. I don't know if Citadel's pushing us down. It might be though. It wouldn't surprise me. But you never know. My suspicion is that people were buying this, looking to take some profit on it at earnings, and it just didn't move up as much as people thought, right? People didn't want to buy on earnings. They wanted to buy before earnings and have a big pump up. Because regardless, I mean, AMC's earnings weren't going to be, anything that justified the valuation, probably, right? If you look back before the big short squeeze hype, they were trading under $10. So people weren't really looking to the earnings to say, oh, the earnings are really good, let's buy into AMC. Mac Attack says just bought 10 shares of PROG and AQST. Let's see, did you get it below 350? Looks like you got PROG below 350. Nice. And AQST, around $6. So I haven't looked that deeply in AQST yet. I will look more deeply in AQST though. I will do a video on it. So it looks like they did just have a little bit of an earnings beat. They were up, it looks like, the day after, and they've been on a pretty solid uptrend, right? Leading up to this FDA, the potential approval that they'll maybe be getting, right? Hopefully they do. I mean, it could be good. How many shares left to short on ATER, says Capitalist Kid. Let's take a look at ATER on Ortex. Let's see where we're at with ATER shorts. So if we go to the short interest for ATR, we've used up 80% of the available shares to short. So there's still about 20% left. So how many shares would that be? It actually looks like close to a million, maybe 1.2, 1.3 million shares left to short on ATR. If you look at the current short interest, assuming that 4.43 million is about 80%, then it stands to reason that 5.6 would be 100%. So maybe there's 1.2 million shares left to short. So Jacob says, gotcha. Yeah, makes sense. Highly doubt majority were holding for earnings with AMC. Yeah. No, I don't think everyone is holding for earnings. But some people, at least in the past couple of days, might have been buying in, raising the price a little bit in expectation of earnings, maybe. So Arnow Jolly, what do you think about NEO? Thanks for your opinion. NEO. Well, NEO in the past, man, I remember when NEO was $1. Should have bought some NEO. Unfortunately, at the time it didn't seem too promising, right? Because we can actually pull the chart out even more and see that they were trading for around $10 at one point, and they dipped down all the way to 1. And I thought NEO was a dead company until China swooped in and saved them, and I think funded them. I forget exactly what it was. It was years ago, but all I know is China swooped into the rescue and ended up helping them out as a company, and they have since done incredibly well. I remember watching this rally just thinking, oh, I should have bought some NEO. But overall, I think, NEO is getting a lot of help from China. Obviously, EV is a big area. I think a lot of people in China are still buying Teslas, though. Tesla has the Gigafactory in China. So I think that NEO, they'll face some fierce competition, and we'll have to see if their cars are any good. I've not really looked into NEO lately, right? I didn't get into it, and so I haven't been following it too closely. I just know that they're in EVs. So let's see what their cars look like. We can go to neo.com and actually take a peek. Interesting. Following the same kind of stealing Tesla's handles right there. So let's see. They've got, they're doing kind of the same thing. NEO Power, which looks like it's the EV charging at home, just like Tesla. But they've got a couple of models, the ET7, EC6, ES8, and ES6. Let's look at the ET7 just to see. So interesting website design. Not very nice, actually. You have to scroll, and it's weird. I don't like this too much, the way that the screen is moving. But okay, here we go. Now we're really scrolling. So soft closing doors with frameless windows. All right. Smart lighting interaction. Okay, that is kind of cool, but nothing crazy special. Similar to a Tesla on the inside, it looks like. Not as good of a website though. Kind of a cruddy website if I'm being real. I don't know who they had designed this website. They're just doing weird stuff with it. But yeah, I mean, Neo is interesting. I'm not sure about the quality of their cars though. So they might be good, they might be bad. If they're anything like the website, I wouldn't be buying the stock. But but it has been running in the past, right? So there's always the chance, China will come in. Let's see what the market cap is on Neo real quick. And if it's not too high, then $69 billion. Yeah, it's fairly high. It's a fairly high market cap, right? So I think they're good where they're at. I don't think they'll, I mean, maybe they'll tank, maybe they'll pump. But 69 billion seems like a fair valuation for a company that's far along with the EV space. Especially considering Tesla's over $1 trillion. So we've missed some. So hi Rob, says Steve. Check out SPCE. Seems to be running. Yeah, we were looking at SPCE earlier. It is up 6.91%. And this is on news that they sold, I think, 700 seats at $450,000 each. So more than expected, they are selling out these space tourism seats. So they're doing good on that news, and we'll see what that can get them. They still had I think it was even a miss on earnings. Yeah, they lost a little bit more than expected, but the fact that their revenues are higher than people were thinking they would be at this point is good for them. So they've been doing decently. And at this point in the stream, it looks like we have 66 likes 66 viewers and 75 likes. You guys already know where I'm going with this. If we could maybe bump those likes up, maybe get up to 80 or even 95. Not 95. That seems like a lot. But if we could get up to 80 or 90, that would be interesting. 80, 85, maybe. We'll see what we can do. We'll see. Everyone who hasn't liked the stream, why not go down there and hit the like button, and we'll see how much we can raise this thing by. So Hero says Oxygen making moves almost to $10. Okay, Oxygen. If we get back up above 10, yeah, we're up on the day. That's good. That's good stuff. Hopefully we can get back up above 10. It's going to be interesting to see. We'll likely, play around at that level for a little bit, but hopefully we'll get up there. We're at 990 right now. So Oxygen is looking good, up 2.6% on the day. And Adil Khan, can you check Litecoin? I have some shares in it going up good. Yeah, let's check that out. I like the crypto. So Bitcoin making all-time highs just yesterday, but let's see, where's Litecoin? Down here at number 14 market cap-wise. Litecoin was one of the coins that I bought way long ago. Back in 2017, I bought some cryptos on Coinbase. I made an account way back when. I think it was Coinbase. But back when they were at near their highs, right? Back when they were around these prices, I probably bought around $200, and it then sank down to like $50. And I was like, crypto's a scam, and I sold out. So yeah, I ended up selling my Litecoin. I didn't have that much in Litecoin. I had like $100 or something at the time, but yeah, no, they're back on the rise again. I mean, all the cryptos are up on the move because Bitcoin. If you look at Bitcoin, they have been up to their all-time highs just yesterday. So people are getting a crypto frenzy, right? They want to get in on the next hot crypto, and Litecoin could be it. It has been around for a while. $18 billion market cap. Not sure what it's all about, right? Let's see if they have a description. So, what is Litecoin? Is cryptocurrency that was designed to provide fast, secure, and low-cost payments by leveraging the unique properties of blockchain technology. Okay, so it sounds like most cryptos. Created based on Bitcoin protocol, but it differs in terms of hashing algorithm used, hard cap, block transaction times, and a few other factors. Has a block time of just 2.5 minutes and extremely low transaction fees, making it suitable for microtransactions and point-of-sale payments. Nice. So it sounds like just an effective cryptocurrency. And Jacob Patry says, hit that like button. Love your content, Rob. I appreciate that, Jacob. I appreciate it. Every like does help get the video out to a couple more people. And then we end up getting more comments and more people talking about. I mean, someone pointed out space to us. Steve pointed out space. Someone else pointed out space. So we do end up hearing about interesting things that we wouldn't otherwise know. The more people we get in the stream. So that's always appreciated. The more people we can get in here, the better. And eventually, we will be starting up a Discord. I will do that eventually. I promise, guys. Because then we can communicate during more than just the first couple hours of market open. So we will be doing that at some point. We haven't done it yet, but eventually. We will do a Discord. Now let's take a look at. We can take a look at NAKD. It looks like they've subsided a bit. Looks like it might have been a little bit hyped up, but they're still up 15% on the day from where they closed. So we'll see. Maybe we're finding some support at 80 cents right there. Maybe we'll get a little bounce off of it. It looks like we did hit that a couple of times, and now we're up at 82. So NAKD could be doing good. But I did want to check out back to the cryptocurrencies. I know you guys love the cryptos. I did want to check out Shiba Inu because I was curious what they had been doing over the past couple of days. And we looked yesterday. It looks like they just kind of continued the trend they were on yesterday. They just kept moving down. Unfortunately, it's a very, very slow downtrend, right? Not much going on with SHIB. We're going to need to see probably some new catalyst coming out for them, right? They're going to need something. Someone's going to need to start hyping them up or pumping them. Robinhood's going to need to list them, or something's going to have to happen. Someone's going to have to burn some coins to keep this SHIB train going. Shiba Inu has subsided from its highs. It's not quite there anymore. The highs they got to were about 30% higher than where they are now. Maybe around 25-30% higher than where they are now. So, or maybe even 50% higher, actually. Yeah, they were at 844. Now they're at 56. So they need to get quite a bit higher, maybe even 50% higher to get back up there. So it's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough. I don't know if they have it in them. The market cap right now is sitting at 30 billion. Yeah, they were up over 40 at one point. They were up over Dogecoin, but it looks like Dogecoin has retained its place. With a $36 billion market cap. Shiba Inu only has a $30 billion market cap, so that's good for Doge and bad for SHIB. I own both, though, so I'm indifferent to which one ends up winning. I just want to see them. I would like to see them rise, but I don't know. I don't know if they have it in them to continue rising over the long term. But we will take a look at Oxygen and see. We're still stagnating around 980 and 990. We're just stagnating in between there. We're at 988, getting very close to 10. Hopefully we can get back up above that at some point. Hopefully we can. And unfortunately, a lot of the cannabis stocks have fallen. We can take a look at a couple. Sundial is down. Tilray's down. Kronos is down 13%. That's crazy. Looks like their earnings came out and weren't great. MSOS is down the least, down 0.77%, and OGI down 4%. So a lot of the cannabis stocks falling. Of course, they just keep getting beaten down the day after good news, right? They pump up on the day of good news, and then they get beaten down the next day. So that's really unfortunate for the cannabis companies. And looking at the poll, we have 50 votes in this poll about inflation. I haven't looked at this since posting it, but the question was, how worried about inflation are you? And the options were very, somewhat, not at all, and I think we'll have deflation. Now, 45% of the people said very worried. 35% said somewhat worried. 18% said not worried at all. And 2%, so one person, said, I think we'll have deflation. So that's interesting stuff. So a lot of people, it seems, at least have some inflation fears. And the majority of people, well, not the majority of people have some inflation fears, and the highest category is very so. Looks like a lot of people are very fearful of inflation, as am I. I would fall into that very category, right? I'm very worried about inflation. Unfortunately, it seems like the kind of thing that could really make just daily life a little bit tougher, a little bit worse if we have massive inflation. We'll see, though. I'm hopeful that we can maybe stave it off, but I don't know. We've been staving it off decently in terms of how bad it really should be for a while. So, with all the money that we've printed and all the debt that the U.S. has taken out, I think that we should probably be seeing a little bit more inflation, but we've not done it yet. So, hey, what's the difference between DWAC and DWACW? Seems to be the same growth and downtrend, says Christopher Frank. Yeah, I will break that down for you and just explain what the difference is. So DWAC, and we'll pull them up on the charts right here, and DWACW. So looking at the 30-day, DWAC is the stock, Digital World Acquisition Corp, and DWACW is the warrant for that stock. So they are going to, kind of mirror each other. the warrant's going to be a little bit more volatile. But overall, they're pretty much the same thing, right? Because one share of the warrant is allowing you to buy one share of the stock at a price of $11.50. So the intrinsic value of the warrant is the price of the warrant plus $11.50. And that's what you're able to get the stock for when you can actually execute these warrants, which is, I believe, 30 days after the actual merger date between DWAC and Trump Media Corporation, or 1 year after DWAC listed, which was sometime in September. So in September of 2022. So you'll have to wait a bit to actually execute the warrant. And of course, there's the risk that the warrants will expire worthless. There's always that risk because if DWAC ends up moving below $11.50, then the warrants aren't going to be worth anything, right? They'd be worthless, and you would have paid this $22 for nothing, and you'd have nothing in return. But there is some intrinsic value to be gained if DWAC stays up at these prices, or even if it moves down to lower price. Even if it's like 30-something bucks, you'd still be getting a decent deal buying this and the warrant, buying the warrant instead, right? Because it's at 22 right now, so buying the warrant to 22 is like buying the stock at 33.50. So the warrants are pretty risky. Seems risky on the W side. Yeah, it is risky. It is risky. There's the potential for big gains, but big losses as well. So KTM for life, was it the Fed dropping the market this morning? So partly. It's tough to say exactly what drops the market, and this is not the craziest move in the world. We were only down at the worst, I think, like 0.45%. So it's not like a massive crash. You don't need a huge reason for it. But I will point out that at that time, Tesla was dropping quite a bit. It may have been that Musk was selling some of his shares, and Tesla is part of the S&P. It's going to have an effect on the price of the market overall. So Tesla may have been partly responsible for some of the dip, but also the inflation, the producer price index came out, which we can pull it up again. And we'll pull up the producer price index at 6.8% annualized inflation. So let's clear this and pull out US and find it right there. So the year-over-year producer price index measures the change in the selling price of goods and services sold by producers, excluding food and energy. So 6.8% increase year-over-year. Pretty high increase in inflation, but it is on target with the forecast, right? The forecast was for 6.8%, and the actual was 6.8%. So Zach Taylor says Robinhood says all systems operational until Musk starts selling again. Yeah, I know. I wonder, Musk. I wonder if he has a Robinhood account, or he probably, definitely doesn't have all his Tesla in Robinhood, but he might have a Robinhood and play around with stocks. Who knows? Probably not. He seems like a busy guy. KTM for life says, thanks, Rob. You're welcome, man. You're welcome. Yeah, we haven't been seeing great market action today, right? The S&P is down. Tesla's down. I wonder if AMD and NVIDIA are even still up. Not AMC, AMD. AMD is down 1.3%. They were up. They were at all-time highs earlier today. Now they're down 1.4% or 1.1%. And NVIDIA looks like they're still up on the day. That's good. That's good. NVIDIA is still up. Nice. So they're doing decently. All right. And let's see what else we've got. We can take one peek at crypto. We're getting close to the end of the stream. It's almost 11. My stomach is rumbling. It wants lunch. So we'll see how much longer we keep going here. But we're getting close to the end. So we'll take a last peek at crypto. It looks like Bitcoin is continuing to fall a little bit. Looks like they tried to rally a little and couldn't quite do it. But, it's not like they're anywhere near as low as they were just a couple of days ago. Below or near 60,000. They're still up at 66.8. So they're doing pretty good. Tilray breaking my heart this morning. Yeah, I know. Tilray. I'm holding Tilray. I was hoping Tilray would be doing a little bit better. We'll pull it up over Tesla. Yeah, all the cannabis stocks, unfortunately, not doing great, right? Tilray's down 2.5%. Sundial is down 1.2%. It looks like they're having a little bit of a V-shaped recovery on the cannabis stocks. A couple of them are. Tilray and Sundial at least. Kronos, though. Kronos down 14%, but they were up the most yesterday. But still, massive dip on Kronos. Unfortunate. Massive dip though. Look at that. That's you guys might not be able to see that, but look at that big bump on Chronos, and then a quick fall in price. Right? That's unfortunate, but so be it. Right? That's the cannabis market for you. That's how these stocks tend to go. Looking over the past year, you can see there is a lot of potential upside that we could see though, if this legalization bill actually comes through. So the hope is it will. The hope is it will. Saucy Fredo, you think TAL is a buy? This will probably be the last question of the day, and then we'll start to end the stream right after this. So TAL, so we may have looked at this. TAL Education Group ADR, yeah. So I'm not the biggest fan of these downtrenders. Is this the one that teaches English? I think it might be. Let's see if we can find it. So TAL. Let's see what they're all about. We'll do a little bit of a dive into them. TAL. So TAL Education Group ADR. So they operate through subsidiaries which engage in the provision of after-school tutoring programs for primary and secondary school students. Its services are delivered through small classes, personalized premium services such as one-on-one tutoring and online courses offering for primary and middle school students. Interesting. $2.6 billion market cap, so decent market cap. But yeah, I mean, I don't love buying into these downtrends, though, maybe you get to pick the bottom and you get it for a better price. But I would wait probably until I start to see an indication that there's an uptrend, right? Obviously, you can always get faked out. But, if it's a long-term hold for you, if you're confident in the company, if you've looked into the underlying business and you think that it's something that's going to improve, then yeah, you can definitely buy it and just hold over the long term. I mean, it looks like it's very cheap compared to what it used to be. But they've likely been doing public offerings, right? And they have depreciated very much in value over the past just 2 years. So that's not ideal, but maybe you want to get into them. So that was the last question. We will end the poll. It looks like most people are worried about inflation and if not very worried about inflation. So that's what we've got today, guys. This was a fun one. I enjoyed it as usual. Thank you guys for showing up and commenting all the cool stuff you comment. It's always interesting looking at these new stocks. I appreciate it. So I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next one, or maybe in a video later today. We'll see what goes on in the markets. But other than that, have a great one. I'll see you next time. Bye.